Imagine 9 men, alone, in total darkness, deep inside a tunnel they've dug with their own hands. Meters and meters beneath the ruins of Solomon's temple. Their torch flickers. The rock drips with moisture. And then they find something. Something that shouldn't be there. Something that will change them forever. In 1199, French knights arrive in Jerusalem. For 9 years, they protect no one. They fight no one. They dig in the dark, in silence, desperately searching for something beneath the Temple Mount. And what they found terrified them. How do I know? Because after their return to Europe, these men were never the same again. And the Church stayed silent for 7 centuries. What you're about to hear is not a legend. Every fact is documented. Every source is real. And that's precisely what makes this story unbearable. The Crusaders massacre the population of Jerusalem. Blood floods the streets. Chronicles of the time speak of soldiers wading through blood up to their ankles. 20 years later, 9 knights request an audience with King Baldwin II. But what they ask for is strange. Very strange. They don't want gold. They don't want land. They want to settle in one specific place, the eastern wing of the royal palace, directly above the ancient stables of Solomon, above the Temple Mount. The chronicler Guillaume de Tyr writes in 1170, the king gave them a dwelling in his palace, at the place where once stood the temple of the Lord. Why there? Why exactly that spot? These men take the name order of the temple. They claim to protect pilgrims. But here's the chilling detail. For 9 years, from 1119 to 1128, they recruit no one. 9 men to protect thousands of pilgrims across hundreds of miles of dangerous roads. Guillaume de Tyr himself finds it suspicious. He writes that they lived in great poverty and notes their total lack of military activity. No battles, no rescues, no records of protection, just silence and a constant presence in that cursed place where Solomon's temple once stood, where the Holy of Holies had contained the Ark of the Covenant. What could possibly justify 9 years of silence? Almost 750 years later, British engineer Charles Warren arrives in Jerusalem, sent by the Palestine Exploration Fund. His mission to explore the underground structures beneath the Temple Mount. Warren is a rational man, a scientist, but what he's about to find will haunt him for the rest of his life. In his book Underground Jerusalem, 1876, Warren describes his descent into the ancient Solomonic stables. It's dark, damp, the air is foul, and then he finds them. Tunnels, tunnels that shouldn't be there. Tunnels cut straight through solid rock. Not Roman, not Byzantine, European, from the 12th century. Warren writes, these excavations were carried out by persons searching for something. The tool marks are clearly medieval and of European origin. Imagine yourself in his place, crawling through narrow tunnels, your oil lamp casting trembling shadows on the stone, and you realize someone dug here, in total darkness. For years, what were they so desperate to find? Warren finds objects, an iron Templar cross, a spur, a broken lance, all from the 12th century, but he also finds something else. Something he barely mentions in his official report, but confides in a private letter kept at the Royal Engineers Library. Some of the excavations descend to disturbing depths. We have found what appears to be a sealed chamber. My men refuse to go further. They say the air down there is bad. Israeli archaeologist Ronnie Reich later confirms, in the 1990s, that some of these tunnels descend more than 20 meters below the temple. 20 meters, hand-dug, in total darkness. What could drive men to dig so deep? What obsession justified such risk? Let me tell you what happened when the Templars returned to Europe in 1128. 9 years in the dark. 9 years digging beneath Solomon's temple, and suddenly, everything changes. At the Council of Troyes in 1129, something extraordinary happens. Pope Honorius II grants the Templars privileges no other order had ever received. Total exemption from taxes, independence from all authority except the Pope, the right to build their own churches, the right to keep all spoils of war, and most importantly, immunity from the Inquisition. Think about that. 9 poor knights who protected no one for 9 years suddenly gain immunity from the Inquisition. Why would the Church grant them such protection? Unless they found something that gave them power over the Church itself. Historian Graham Phillips, in The Templars and the Ark of the Covenant 2004, suggests that the Templars used their discovery as leverage, but refuses to speculate on what it was. His words, some questions should never be asked, but others did ask. German writer Wolfram von Eschenbach, in his Parsifal 1210, connects the Templars to a mystical object and writes a chilling line. They guard secrets no man should know, things God himself sought to hide. According to the Book of Kings, the Ark of the Covenant was kept in the Holy of Holies within Solomon's temple. In 586 BCE, when Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the temple, the Ark vanished, never appearing in the Second Temple. The Talmud, in Tractate Yoma, says that priests hid the Ark in secret chambers beneath the temple before its destruction. Did the Templars find the Ark, or did they find something else? Something older, something even the priests of Solomon feared to look upon. Because after their return, the Templars' behavior becomes strange. They build circular churches, imitating the Temple of Jerusalem, but they decorate them with symbols no one understands. Carved heads, inscriptions in forgotten languages, secret rituals, initiations held in the dark, ceremonies known only to the highest members, and they become rich, unimaginably rich, too rich for a simple military order. Where did that gold come from? October 13th, a Friday. At dawn, across all of France, King Philip IV's soldiers stormed Templar command. Mass arrests. The accusations are terrifying. Heresy. Worship of a demon called Baphomet, spitting on the cross. Obscene kisses in secret ceremonies. But there is one charge that most people talk about less, an accusation that appears in the indictment documents preserved at the French National Archives. The Templars are accused of having discovered and kept cursed objects and knowledge, contrary to the Christian faith, which they brought back from the East. Cursed objects and knowledge under torture, some confess. Jacques de Mar, the last Grand Master, confesses, then recants. But others speak. They speak of a head they worshipped, of a secret passed down only to the highest initiates, of things seen in Jerusalem that they cannot speak of. One Templar, Hugues de Perrot, says, before dying, "What we found beneath the temple was never meant to be found. It is an abomination. We sinned by looking upon it." In 1314, Jacques de Moy was burned alive in Paris. Before dying, he cursed Pope Clement V and King Philip IV. Both died within the year. But the secret dies with him. The Templar treasure is never found. Their archives vanish completely. Thousands of documents gone, as if someone wanted that secret to disappear forever. Today, the tunnels beneath the Temple Mount are still there. Some can be accessed. Others remain sealed. The Israeli government strictly prohibits any excavation beneath the Temple Mount. It is sensitive religiously. But maybe there is another reason. Artifacts Charles Warren found are now in the British Museum. You can see them, the Templar cross, the spur, ordinary objects, once carried by ordinary men. But those men saw something. They dug for 9 years in the dark and found something that changed them forever. Something that gave them immense power. Something that terrified the church enough to grant them immunity. Something that ultimately doomed their entire order. In 2007, Israeli archaeologists used ground-penetrating sonar to map the structures beneath the Temple Mount. The full report was never published, but one line leaked to the press. We have detected unmapped chambers at exceptional depths. We recommend that exploration not continue. Maybe some things are meant to stay buried. Maybe the Templars learned that lesson too late. And maybe, just maybe, what they left behind is still waiting in the silence, in the darkness, waiting for someone else to descend.